Hello, I'm Elena Perea. I studied nutritional therapy in England, and I've been working for the last 20 years with nutrition and modulating diet and supplements to achieve health goals. And from the last year and a half, I've been working with a precursor of glutathione, raising glutathione levels and finding out how you can speed recovery thanks to the levels of glutathione. So for me, this is a new goal in nutrition, a new way of seeing health, and a new discovery. And I'm very excited to show this to you. So I have this presentation, and then we're going to have Rosa, who is also going to tell us about Immunocal and its products. So we begin now. I'm going to share the screen with you. Right. So as I said, this is a new discovery, a new way of seeing wellness and prosperity and achieving goals that we set up for health. And raising glutathione helps us to get where we want to get in terms of being healthy and in terms of well-being. So this is all about the energy of the cell, which is equivalent to our own vital energy. So the glutathione status of a cell is probably the most important indicator of the health of the cell. So we're going to see how, if we look at health from inside out, we're going to allow our body to find its own way for recovery. So we're just going to help our body through nutrition, help the body so that the body is going to do whatever it needs to achieve for regeneration, for modulation of immune system, for more energy. The body is completely able to do this by itself, but it just needs a good level of the most important cell indicator, which is glutathione. Glutathione is a substance that exists in every cell in your body. Every tissue, every organ needs glutathione. It is the most abundant molecule after water. So that gives us an idea of how important it is, so that every cell needs glutathione. And glutathione levels, what happens is that they diminish. They diminish as we age. We found that people who age with health problems, they have lower levels of glutathione. People who become ill, they have lower levels of glutathione. And people who get to an older age with a good health, like people who get to 100 years old, they have in comparison higher levels of glutathione with normal people. So with glutathione, we have good levels when we are young until we are about 20, and then they start diminishing every 10 years, maybe 20% they diminish every 10 years. And this is because we are starting to have more, we have more toxins that we have to deal with. We are subject to radiation, oxidation, and we're losing levels of glutathione. Glutathione is the main protection that we have against disease. And when we are born with a good level of glutathione because it's a very important molecule in the womb. Being in the womb gives us a good level of glutathione, so we are born with good levels because it is very important for developing the baby. It is very important for raising a baby. So as we age, we start losing this very, very important molecule. And this is all about science. Glutathione is a molecule that has been very, very much researched. There are more than 150,000 studies about glutathione. It's the most researched molecule, even more than vitamin C. But the thing is that not many people know about this, and glutathione has more than 1,000 functions They are all very important, but the most vital functions that it has is they are all related to these 4 letters, which is idea. The idea comes from regulating immune system. That's the first function. Regulating means that it's going to help the lymphocytes to replicate against the virus. So lymphocytes need glutathione to replicate. So in this way, it is helping the lymphocyte. It is protecting the lymphocyte. And also it's very important to avoid malfunctioning of the immune system when we have an autoimmune disease. So it's going to help modulate and regulate the immune system. So even if we have poor immunity, we need to raise glutathione. But if we have an autoimmune disease, we also need to raise glutathione. So it's going to help both. So it's going to help find a good level of response for the immune system. Then we have detoxification, and the main organs for detox are the liver and the kidney, and they are the organs that most need glutathione. So the liver is going to need glutathione for every phase of detoxification. It's going to need it for the detoxification enzymes to turn toxic molecules, xenobiotics, estrogen into something that we are more able to get rid of through the urine or through the intestine. So if we want to convert toxic molecules, we're going to need glutathione. So for me, it's very, very important to get rid of toxic metals, heavy metals, anything that is disrupting our metabolism, our mitochondria. And then we have the energy function, and this also has to do with protection. It's going to protect the mitochondria. The mitochondria needs the glutathione to function properly, because glutathione helps get rid of toxins that are produced in the mitochondria to keep a good level of temperature. So again, we see that this molecule that is found in every cell has the main function is to protect, to maintain stability, to allow molecules, to allow organs to function properly. And then the most well-known and recognized function is to be an antioxidant. And we call it the master antioxidant. And why is this? Because it's the only antioxidant that we generate, we produce inside our cells. It's an endogenous antioxidant. And its function is to raise or to maximize the effect of the diet. If we have other antioxidants in the diet, like vitamin E, vitamin C, selenium, they are going to be recycled by glutathione. Glutathione recycles vitamin C, recycles vitamin E, and is the most important antioxidant that we have to fight against oxidative stress, which is the main cause of aging, the main cause of disease. I mean, anything that has to do with the aging process, with degeneration, with having any type of disease has to do with oxidation. So if we want to keep a healthy organs and a good skin, and also it's very important to protect the brain against oxidation, then we need a good level of this antioxidant, which, as I said, is the main antioxidant that we have and that we produce. As you can see here, glutathione is made of 3 amino acids, which are glycine, glutamate, and cysteine. Right? If we have these 3 amino acids, we're going to have glutathione. So how simple is that? It's much more simple than trying to find a good balance of nutrients, which is something difficult because you have to be very strict with your diet. You have to make sure you are absorbing nutrients. You have to make sure you don't have too much of something, too little of another thing. And here it's just very, very easy. Everybody can do this. It's just having these 3 amino acids. Any person at any age, at any stage of health, can produce glutathione if they have these 3 amino acids. So here we have, this is the key. This is the shortcut that we have for health. It's just having these 3 amino acids, which, as I said, anybody can produce glutathione. So the thing is that glycine and glutamate we have in our diets. We don't have a problem with these 2 amino acids, but cysteine is not very abundant, and it's a very sensitive, delicate amino acid that has to be protected for absorption so that we can really assimilate it. And that doesn't happen with a normal diet, because we cook most of our food, right? So babies get cysteine from breast milk, and this begins to decrease at the age of 20, as we said before. Cysteine is not abundant in the diet, and is thermolabile, which means that it degrades with heat and with the acidic pH of the stomach. So here we have a problem. We need cysteine to make glutathione. We need glutathione to have a good health, to be protected against radiation, toxins, stress. But we don't find cysteine in the diet. From the food we eat, we obtain only 3% of the cysteine present, and it's only present in raw meat, raw milk, which we don't find because most milk is pasteurized, raw eggs, which nobody eats, and raw broccoli, which we will have to eat pounds of it to have any level of cysteine. So this is the problem we've been having until now, because this company, which is called Immunotech, has produced the only effective way to really provide the body with cysteine. And they have found in an extract of natural cow whey, they have found a consolidated bioactive cysteine, which basically means the cysteine is protected by a double bond and is surrounded by a protein of the whey protein. So in this way, we have a 95% absorption of this cysteine, which is protected against heat, is protected against pH, and it has all the way to the cell. It gets absorbed until it gets to the cell membrane. So the cell receives cysteine, and in this way, immediately it can produce glutathione. So the only effective way to stimulate glutathione production is to have the building blocks that it needs. And these building blocks, one of them, as we said before, is the cysteine. Immunocal is consolidated cysteine, right? So this was found and discovered by these 2 scientists, which were in Canada, and they've been working on how to raise glutathione for the last 40 years, doing a lot of research. First of all, they found that people who recover quickly and nicely from surgery, the difference is that they had good levels of glutathione again. So they found in this extra, they found in this whey protein, they found the consolidated cysteine, and they have they patented a way of extracting this cysteine from the whey. And going back to the functions of glutathione, because this is it has even more functions. We mentioned the 4 main important ones, but it also has a function as a cancer protection, right? The level of the natural killer cells, they raise when we raise glutathione. And it also has a very promising benefit as a neuroprotectant. And this is because the brain is the organ that is most susceptible to oxidation, the most damaged by oxidation, because it's mainly made of, it has a high level of fat, and fat is very sensitive to oxidation. If we have oxidation in our brain, we're going to have problems with memory, cognitive health. We may be subject to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. People with autism, they also have low levels of glutathione in the brain. So to me, this is very, very important as we age to try to protect our brain, which is probably the most important organ that we have when we are aging. And also glutathione modulates the epigenetic response and protects the genes against mutation. And it helps us to regulate vitamin D metabolism in the liver. So we're going to have so many benefits. Among them, we're going to have better absorption of minerals, better production of vitamin D. We're going to have reactivate all the antioxidants in our food. So this is going to make our food more beneficial for us, because we're going to make the most of our diet, basically. And going back to what we also wanted to talk about in this presentation today is one of the main uses that we can get from raising glutathione, and to me the most amazing ones, because when I found this was the main therapy I could use, is when I realized that just by raising glutathione we have people who were able to reverse cancer and find treatment for cancer. And when I found that, I realized how important this is, because I know after working for 20 years studying with Dr. Plaskett in England, he had a society that was, his main purpose was to treat cancer patients with diet. And I know how difficult that is, how long it takes, how strict you have to do a very strict diet. And when I found out that just in a few months, just by raising glutathione, you could help people with cancer, I realized the potency, the strength, the amazing benefits you can have by raising glutathione. So we had in May 2020, there was a study when they found that glutathione deficiency was the most likely cause of severe COVID. This is one of the times when people started realizing how important it was to have good levels of glutathione. That's when we started hearing more about this molecule, because it helps virus replication, it protects against oxidative damage, right? So that's one of the times, only 2 years ago, when we started realizing that it was very important to have a good level of glutathione. But going back to cancer, low levels of glutathione raise the risk of cancer. This is all being studied. This is everything we're talking about is clinical studies. You can check this out in PubMed, or you can ask for the studies and you can double check. And they found this by measuring the levels of glutathione, and they found that people who are very susceptible to cancer or who had cancer, they had lower levels. But also people who had abnormal genes for glutathione, they are more particularly susceptible to developing cancer. And cancer patients, they have lower levels of total GSH. So that's one of the ways we found how important it was to have a good level of glutathione to protect against this type of disease. Then we have this chapter of a book by Dr. Luc Montagnier, who was a Nobel Prize, who died recently. He was the discoverer of the AIDS virus, and he wrote a whole chapter of his book about how glutathione can help with breast cancer cells. And he did his own study. He's not working for Immunotech. He did it completely independently. And the results was that this Immunocal, which in this book is called HNMPI, referring on how this is very similar to human milk. This is the way they called it before in the past. So this Immunocal, it has an inhibitory effect, not only on the initiation of cancer, but also on the progression of tumors. This is all a study done independently by this Nobel Prize, who to me deserves a lot of respect and consideration for what he found. And then we have, well, this is something that we're gonna understand better if we attend the Zoom next week by Dr. Jimmy Goodman, who is the main researcher at Immunocal. He's going to give us a Zoom presentation next week on Wednesday. And he will explain this a lot further and much better than me. And he will deeper into this subject. But basically, this is very, I mean, to me, this is very interesting and very important to understand that cancer cells, they use glutathione to protect themselves against chemo and radiotherapy. And this explains how some cancers are very resistant to treatment. So if we understand this basically means that our cells, any type of cell, is going to use glutathione to protect itself, to defend itself. And the tumor cells are, in this way, very clever, and they raise glutathione to protect themselves because they want to survive. And they do this by raising glutathione. So if you deplete the level of glutathione inside a cancer cell, that is going to become a lot more susceptible to damage by chemo or radiotherapy. So this is going to make you think, if I raise glutathione, if I start raising glutathione, is the cancer cell also going to raise the glutathione level? Well, this doesn't happen like that. It's the opposite. When we raise our glutathione in our healthy cells, something happens that is called selective modulation, and the tumor cells, they lose glutathione. So they start losing glutathione in a sort of compensatory effect. So as we raise the glutathione in the healthy cells, the sick cells, they start losing glutathione. In this way, they are a lot more susceptible to treatment with chemotherapy. So we have here a way of helping a chemo or radiotherapy treatment to make it more effective, but we also have a way to help the cancer cells, to fight against cancer, even if we don't have chemo or radiotherapy. Both ways, it works both ways. So we have a lot of testimonies now in Spain of people who had been discharged from treatment because there was no more solution for them, and they have survived thanks to raising glutathione without any other treatment. And then we have the other cases when there's people taking chemo or radiotherapy, and it also helps them not only to make it more effective, but also to help their healthy cells, and they help the immune system to receive the treatment. And everything we're telling you about is based on science. This is Dr. Jimmy Goodman, who we will be having with us next week. So I really highly recommend you to assist, because you'll be able to ask him directly. And this is a great opportunity to hear him talk and ask him questions. He's been working for this company, which is a laboratory. It's a scientific investigation, it's a scientific research company, who've been working with different universities, journals. They have more than 80 published research studies in different medical journals. And they also have more than 80 patents issued. This is patents of use. So to have a patent of use, you have to have had research done proving that this product is going to have whatever health benefits the patent is going to give you. This is also a product that is categorized as a nutraceutical, which means a food that it has a therapeutic effect. So it's not even a supplement, it's a food, and it has a therapeutic effect, and the effect comes from the capacity or ability it has to help you raise your glutathione levels. So anything you can check on the internet, we can give you more information. You can check the studies, the patents, the research that has been done. So I'm just very honored to be part of this and be part of this amazing company, which has this, to be a breakthrough in nutrition and health. And now I'm gonna let Rosa tell you about the products so that she can explain which all these different boxes, what they are and the difference between them. So thank you, Rosa.
Thank you very much, Elena. First of all, good evening to everybody. Thank you for taking time tonight to be with us. My name is Rosa. I'm Italian living in the Canary Islands for the style of lifestyle. And first of all, I would really like to thank Elena Perea, because you might not know, she's now in Madrid right now with a heat wave, and she took time for us tonight. She's a great nutritionist, a dear friend, and you can see her testimony by being here tonight. She's changing house, doing a lot of things, and she took time for us tonight to give us this absolutely wonderful explanation about glutathione and cancer. I mean, I'm shivering because it's always nice to know and to learn something new each time. And I'm not from the, let's say, with a health background. These are studies I did for myself, because I think when we are in a certain position in life, we start to learn. So thank you, Elena. Thank you very much. And before I continue to explain, because I think Elena already told us about Immunocal and all the benefits, so I just will briefly go through the different boxes that we have here. But before that, I would like to just to recap some points that Elena said, because I was taking notes. As I said, it's I get emotional when these topics come out, because they are dear to my heart. And so thank you, as I said, really for taking time to be with us tonight, Elena. And you could see that the start, maybe the tiredness came out, but then the passion for Immunotech, Immunocal, her commitment, and my commitment. I think the people tonight that are already with Immunotech share this commitment to give this opportunity. And Elena tonight was giving us this class about the opportunity to care for oneself, to care for your beloved ones, and to care for even people that you don't know, but you know that out there a lot of people need it. So I just want to go through things that really, as I said, sorry, but I get emotional. So first of all, when you said in the womb, we need Immunocal in the womb, and why that? This is something that it makes me reflect. I mean, we have here a product which Elena correctly said, it's a nutrition for our cells, it's a nutraceutic, says it's a food. And so even women that are pregnant, breastfeeding, little kids, and generally when we talk about nutrition or supplementation, there's always a be careful or pay attention. Here we're talking about a natural product that it's needed already in the womb. So for the woman, for the baby. And so for me, this is already a favor factor to understand what glutathione means in our body, and to have here with us the precursors, natural, the food, that we make it. Another point that I think it's very important to understand is we produce it. So we don't take it from outside, already made, produced, because there is out there already on the market products that say glutathione. But here we are unique, and Immunotech is unique in this, because it is the only natural precursor that we give food to our body. So we, in our cells, as Ellen explained, we produce. So we can't overproduce. It's never an overproducing when your body produces it. As Elena said, liver, kidneys, first function, detox. So for me, this again, it's an understanding of having the nutrition. So we make most of our diet when we take Immunocal, because we are adding to what we can bring on the table. So, and I think as a lot of women here, I don't know, I didn't see all the faces, but we care what we bring on the table for ourselves, for our pets, for our families, for everybody. And it is a nutrition for cells. So it means for the humans and for our beloved pets, you know. So Immunocal is a nutrition that we give to everybody. So there's no limitation. And sorry, I was just taking notes. And then a story came to my mind, because Elena said too, and the thing that we have to understand with Immunocal is that, as we say, we eat, we make the most of what we can, but we can't give through the food that we can now bring on our tables all the elements. And this is because too, and it came to my mind, the story, and I will research this and I'll come back with a full version, but it just came to my mind that at some point between the 70s and the 80s, there was even a change in the pasteurization of milk. So, and this was brought out by some cheesemakers. Now, I can't remember if it was French or Swiss or both, that they said the quality of the cheese changed because it was implemented worldwide a different temperature of pasteurization of the milk. So we understand that's like why our parents sometimes reach 100 and nowadays we don't. It's because at that time, their food had even a different treatment. Our food nowadays, even if we bring on the table the best of the best, comes from a change in the industry of alimentation since the 80s. So, so that's why we need to give nutrition to ourselves. And I think with this, I just wanted to a bit close what Elena said, gave us the details, the whys, and the understanding of why cancer cells basically benefit from the fact that if we raise our own glutathione, we actually helping the body and the immune system to do what then the human body does at best. And it's when we give a Ferrari the best gasoline, I think we function well. And I think the human body has its own wisdom. And therefore, then the domino effect starts. So we take care of ourselves, and then the cells will take care of the organs. And so everything gets back into harmony. Because for me, this ease means that out of the ease, out of the harmony. So we bring back the equilibrium in our body by giving us this fantastic nutrition. So the game changed on the table. I go quickly through the boxes. The Immunocal, the one with the blue box, it's the, let's say, the first generation. So as Elena said, if you want to know more about the history of Immunocal, ask the people that brought you to this Zoom tonight for the reference link for Dr. Jimmy Goodman. So please put in your agendas the 12th of July, and then the time you'll find out to have a look at the full story, because he was there from the beginning. So from 45 years ago. So we have life history telling us about it from the inside. And that's the research, the discovery, the patent, the Immunocal, so the basic, the cysteine. Then the platinum, basically, and this, we said the blue for everyone. There's again, we can go into details, but let's say it's babies, as we said, from the womb. The platinum is the second generation. Here we have already a product as always the Immunocal, the base, but has more. So it has more cysteine, and it has additional complements. So it has different minerals, plus a little bit of creatine. And this is already, I would say, from the age of 30, or if there is a reason why, pathology or something before, definitely free to go. We start to the Immunocal Platinum. It's just that as of 30, we need different minerals into our body because the physiological process, as Elena said, starts. And then, so that's the second generation. And then we go to the boosters. If you can change the, yeah, we have a sport, which is the third generation, but we'll take another Zoom for that. And we go just to the boosters. This is the accelerator. So basically, the Immunocal Booster, this specific box has over 50 fruit and vegetables. That means that I can get the best of the best, because I don't have the opportunity to put on my table 50 different fruit and vegetables. And not only, but here we have to think about it's organic, it all comes and it's all certified. It has clean label. You can research the product into the beginning of it. And it has a very important, I would say, gene. I actually, again, took notes about this because it's very interesting to understand. It's a modulator of the gene of the survival gene. It's anti-inflammatory, it's antioxidant, anti-cancer. It's the gene NRF2. And again, please search for it because it's incredible. And it comes with sulforaphane, which comes from the seed of the broccoli. So we're talking about a product here of I would say, multiplicator of the effects of our body by raising the glutathione. It's like the accelerator, okay? And it has, again, it's a superfood. we are adding to our table. And here, again, we can read together the benefits. It strengthens your antioxidant defenses. It reduces oxidative stress and free radicals, triples the detoxification time, contribute to the proper functioning of the immune system, reduce inflammation, and this is a very key point. The mixture of red and green fruits provides the necessary nutrients, sorry, tongue twister, to help achieve adequate levels of vitality and energy. So basically, it's not only a complementary, it's a multiplicator, reduces inflammation. So I think that Immunotech brings on our tables the best of the best. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, Rosa. Thank you very much for your presentation and your comments. Very nice. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, and also there was something I forgot to say, is that Immunocal is casein free, and it's lactose free as well. So people with milk allergies can take it, intolerance to lactose, they can take it, because it is only an extract from a part of the whey protein, which has no casein in it.
Okay.
Right, I think this is important, but some people normally ask this question.
Yes. And I don't know if we have any questions or not. Again, you can always ask the person that brought you to the Zoom. I would like just to add one thing, and I want it to be on the registration. That's why I want to say it before we stop. And I'm here tonight because of a dear friend that I see on the screen, Sabrina. And she, with both together, we lived in a different context. We knew each other from, I would say, a different lifetime. And thanks of her, I got to know the opportunity. So with a phone call, with a message of a dear friend that says, hey, how are you doing? And life is changing and I have a new opportunity. You want to listen? And I said, yes. And here I am. And this gave me the opportunity to meet Elena in a meeting, because we don't do only this through Zoom, but we get to meet up and to know each other in important events. So again, this you can find with the person that invited you, come to events, because we transform all this into reality, into the physical, and it's get to know professionals, and you just get to know people, and it just enlarges your vision. I mean, I'm sitting in Tenerife, here I am. We have Elena in Madrid, Sabrina Rioja, people that I see that don't know exactly where, but I imagine from the UK or somewhere else. So this all transforms through the events, live events, which I highly recommend to go to. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sabrina, again, once more for bringing me the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Rosa. Thank you, Sabrina. And I remind you, next week on Wednesday, if you have the opportunity to meet Dr. Jimmy Goodman, I think it's a great opportunity to listen to him firsthand. So we are going to be there, hopefully. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.